Okay, so I have to try to find a way to make this so that it's not like 20 minutes, because I'm not kidding, I could talk about this forever. But anyways, Walking Dead just ended, and season 2 was a really good season, so I'm going to talk about my favorite character, Randall. And I'm not kidding, I could talk for longer than he had screen time. No joke. So anyways, Randall's this kid who, he says he's a kid, but I think he's a bit older than he's letting us believe. Anyways, so we officially meet him when he's stuck to a fence post, just hanging out there, screaming and crying and begging not to be killed. So they decide not to kill him, and they decide to heal him up and make him feel better, just to punch him in the neck a bunch of times and make him feel bad. But anyways, he's wearing like this cut-off shirt and then like a cut-off vest, and I was kind of like, this is someone that I could learn to love, because not just anyone could wear awesome cut-off on cut-off. So there's that. And God, like, he's just so tiny. Like, his little tiny leg is like a little toothpick. So anyways, they put him in the barn, and everyone at the farm is really upset because they don't know who this guy is, and he could just decide to kill them. He could escape and like bring all of his buddies back, and they could do horrible things to everyone on the farm and kill them. So understandably, everyone's a bit weary of him. But he gets kind of treated like poo, and he's left in the barn. And they're like, you really need to keep your wound clean, Randall. You just had surgery. And then they're like, by the way, go sit in the barn, on the dirty floor and stuff. So that's where he hangs out, and he gets tortured and stuff, and then they decide to take him into town to drop him off and let him fend out for himself, even though they tie his hands and feet together. So anyways, he ends up saving Rick and Shane, from a bunch of zombies. But like, the zombie that Randall kills, you can kind of tell that Randall is a psycho because he stabs it in the head like 42 times. It's like completely unnecessary, and it's like you should be focusing on other things than enjoying killing a zombie. But I forgave him instantly and pushed it out of my head because he's tiny and adorable. And so after he saves Shane, they're like, we're going to make you listen to awful music with pink earbuds. We're going to put you back in the trunk. And so they do, and then they take him back and put him in the barn. And then Daryl tortures him, and Randall's like, I swear I ain't that kind of guy. I swear I didn't do nothing. And it's like, no, Randall, you probably did, because, like, mass hysteria. You go along with what most people do. Also, that whole thing where when you're in a position of power, you end up doing horrible things to the people that are beneath your power, like the study they did in the 70s. It was insane. So I would have understood if he were just like, yeah, I did. It was a horrible thing. But of course he isn't, because he's got to be the mysterious did-he-didn't-he kind of person. So anyways, Daryl sticks his knife into his little he like pokes his bone. It's disgusting. He's like, oh, I see you just had surgery. Would you like it if I poked my knife into your wound? And then Randall's like, don't do it. Oh, God, he did it. And then it's gross. It's disgusting. So anyways, there's this huge debate whether or not to kill him. And Dale is like, no, we totally shouldn't. And Andrea, it turns out that she's kind of awesome, because she's like, I'm with Dale on this one, so I like her a lot more. And then everyone else is just kind of like, I'm going to be quiet about this, because you know what? Alright? Okay. Alright. I would have been like, he's still a person. We can't just kill him. I mean, that's wrong. Even in the zombie world, that's wrong. So, all sorts of really intense drama talk. Meanwhile, Shane's just kind of like, if you guys... And he's like, hey, Randall, I think you're really funny. We should totally go hang out in the woods together. And so Randall's like, that's chill. So they go out in the woods, and Shane's a complete weirdo about everything, and he's awkward. And he's like, you know what? I thought about it, and we should be friends, and we should live in the woods, and we should live in a tree house. I just can't handle living with these people anymore. You and I were meant to be together forever. and And then Randall's like, oh, dude, that's totally awesome, but I gotta warn you, I talk all the time. And then Shane's like, death glare, and then Randall dies instantly. And then Shane tells this horrible story about how a 22-pound dude, he's not 22 pounds, I should stop saying that, like 92 pounds, of awesome beat him up and then ran away. And it's like, Daryl will find out, because Daryl is smarter than all of you, and he is awesome. So, your plan wouldn't have worked ever, Shane. So, he power smashes his face into a tree to better the story, I guess, because it's much more convincing. And then Daryl finds a face print of Shane, and then zombie Randall appears, and then he dies again, so my heart breaks twice. So anyways, the entire reason why this obsession thing with Randall started, mostly because he cried all the time, and I don't know if it's something about being a girl, or if it's something, like, I can't stand to see people sad, but the fact that he was crying, like, the entire time just made me want to hug him, and I felt really bad, and I forgave him for all the crazy that he was doing, and I was willing to overlook the fact that he would probably stab me in the neck if I was like, hugs. So, whatever. Anyways, my friend Christopher was like, dude, have you seen his teeth? And I was like, yeah, I guess I've seen his teeth. I noticed that. He was like, you need to take a harder look because it will change your life. So I did. And damn, did it change my life. Like, I decided that Michael Zegen is like my favorite person in the world right now. And I'm really going to miss him on The Walking Dead. No joke. But, like, okay, I really think that he should have stayed forever. That they should have just been like, you know what, Randall, you're just a little guy. You aren't going to do anything to hurt us. I would have nicknamed him Pip Squeakington. Because he's just a little Pip. He's just a little guy. What's he going to do? Other than, like, tell really great jokes at really inappropriate times and be awesome. So, he could be that guy. He could be the guy that breaks the silence or, like, the awkwardness when everyone's fighting. He could be like, hey, so I've got a joke. And everyone would be like, Randall! And then Shane would be like, that's not funny. And then everyone could be like, oh, Shane, quit being a wet blanket and listen to Randall's jokes about peanuts and bars. I'm sad that that will never be. So I ended up making a bunch of those silly pictures with words. And Randall's always telling jokes, and I think they're really funny, and a lot of people think that they're really weird. But, you know, I mostly do stuff for me, and if I know that there's got to be someone else out there that has my kind of sense of humor. So anyways, I got a couple Dolly postcards, and I decided that I would paint and draw pictures of Randall on the back of them, and then send them to my friend Gary in California, and my friend Christopher in Oregon. And what I did originally was I drew his mouth. And that is literally what his mouth looks like. It's, like, insane. It's crazy. So anyways, I drew a bunch of pictures of him, because I felt like I had to. So anyways, that's Zombie. He's a zombie, and it's really bad, so don't look at it. But watercolor zombie, what's his face? And then normal, what's his face? And then, like, really intense, angry, what's his face? Randall, and then more zombie Randall, and his eye. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at this. Okay, so there's his eye, and inside his eye is his mouth with his crazy teeth, and more crazy teeth, and that one doesn't really look like a mouth, but we aren't going to say anything about that. So anyways, I like literally became obsessed with how his mouth looked. It was just so interesting to me, and it was wild. And there's more. I pretty much did it in every medium that I had available. There were watercolors, crayons, colored pencils, markers, like mixed media. It got pretty crazy. Pen and ink. I think the only thing I didn't do was like full on sketch them using graphite. There's another random eye that I did of him. Oh man, I threw it. And then there's that and that, which I kind of screwed up. Whatever. Anyways, so it's Michael Zegen. I decided that I really like him a lot and that we should be friends because he's really funny. Yep, Michael Zegen. It's pretty awesome. Oh, right. I was thinking that I should do something like Daryl fan art type stuff. Because I really love Daryl, and Norman Reedus seems like he's the coolest guy in the world when you do fan art for him, of him, about him. He's like, he's just such a nice guy. He seems like a great guy, and he's funny, and he's genuine. And that's awesome. So anyways, I wish Randall would come back. If only wishes were fishes, we'd all have some pride. So anyways, yay! This is only 10 minutes and 52 seconds, which is about 20 minutes shorter than it would be if I weren't rushing. Okay, bye-bye!